This is Algebra 2, solving absolute value equations. So we do need to recall what an absolute value is. Absolute value, the definition is the distance from the number to 0 on a number line. And so what that means is it is always positive. Okay, so evaluate. Evaluate if y is equal to -3. So we just have to substitute that in. So 1.4 plus the absolute value of 5 times -3 minus 7. So 1.4 plus 5 times -3 is -15 minus 7. So 1.4 plus the absolute value of -15 minus 7 is -22. So 1.4 plus absolute value of -22 would be +22. And 1.4 plus 22 would be 23.4. Okay. Next one, absolute value of y plus 7. So substitute it in. So -3 plus 7. Well, -3 plus 7 is 4. Absolute value of 4 is 4. All right, so now we're going to solve. So solving these, for absolute values, is we always are going to have two equations. For example, if we have the absolute value of x is 5, we could have two options for that x. X could be +5 or x could be -5, because that value in there could have been a -5. So what we're going to do is your first equation, once when you have the absolute value isolated, so here the absolute value is isolated, is that in and of itself. So x minus 18 is equal to 5. It's one equation. Your second equation is that value inside the absolute value could be negative. So, or we could have a negative x minus 18 is equal to 5. Now you solve both. So if x minus 18 is equal to 5, you add 18 to both sides. So x is equal to 23. Or if negative x minus 18 is equal to 5, you distribute the negative through. So you'd have negative x plus 18 is equal to 5. Solve for x, so minus the 18. So negative x is equal to -13. Divide by -1, so x is +13. And then you check both of these with your original. So if x is 23, you'd have 23 minus 18. Absolute value of that is 5, so 5, so that works. If x is 13, absolute value of 13 minus 18, well, that's -5, but the absolute value of -5 is +5, so it works. So here you have two solutions, 13 and 23. So since there's two solutions, you're going to put them in the solution set brackets of 13 and 23. Okay. Next problem, absolute value of a minus 3 minus 14 is equal to -6. Isolate the absolute value first. So add 14 to both sides. So the absolute value of a minus 3 is equal to 8. Now two equations. A minus 3 can equal 8, or negative a minus 3 can equal 8. Well, if a minus 3 equals 8, we add 3 to both sides, and a is 11. Negative a minus 3, distribute that, so negative a plus 3 is equal to 8. Subtract 3 from both sides, so negative a is equal to 5. Divide by -1, so a is -5. Okay, now we'll check both of these. So if a is 11, we have the absolute value of 11 minus 3 minus 14. So 11 minus 3 is 8. So absolute value of 8 minus 14, so that's 8 minus 14, and that does equal -6. Okay, -5. So absolute value of -5 minus 3 minus 14. -5 minus 3 is -8. Absolute value of -8 is +8. Minus 14 is -6, which is what we wanted it to be. So here we have two solutions. So we're going to put it in solution set, -5 and 11. They both work. It is important that you check your answers dealing with these absolute values. All right, next step. Let's say we have -12 times the absolute value of 9x plus 11 is equal to 144. So you have to isolate that absolute value first, so we'll divide by -12. So now we have the absolute value of 9x plus 11 is equal to 144 divided by negative 12 is negative 12. Right here, you should see something that does not make sense. Negative sign. You should be, oh no, there's something wrong with this. Absolute values must be positive. So if you see an absolute value equaling a negative sign, it can never happen. So you just say no solution. If you were to go through and solve that, when you checked your answers, neither one would have worked, and you would have came up with no solution that way as well. But always be wary and keep track of that. Absolute values have to be positive. Next step. Absolute value of x plus 6 is equal to 3x minus 2. Absolute values alone, so write out your two equations. X plus 6 equals 3x minus 2, or negative x plus 6 equals 3x minus 2. Solving this first one, so subtract the x from both sides and add the 2. So you get 8 is equal to 2x. Divide by 2, so x is equal to 4. Next up, you have to distribute the negative first. So negative x minus 6 is equal to 3x minus 2. So here we would add the x and add the 2. So we have negative 4 is equal to 4x. Divide by 4, so x is negative 1. Now we want to check. So if x is 4, that means we have the absolute value of 4 plus 6. Does that equal 3 times 4 minus 2? 4 plus 6 is 10. Absolute value of 10 is 10. 3 times 4 is 12 minus 2. 12 minus 2 is 10. 10 equals 10, so it works. Negative 1, absolute value of negative 1 plus 6, does that equal 3 times negative 1 minus 2? Well, negative 1 plus 6 is 5. Absolute value of 5 is 5. Does that equal 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 minus 2? Well, negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. Those do not equal. So x cannot equal negative 1, so our only solution here is 4. All right, and then we will do one last example here. Yep, just one last example. There's no equal sign. So this should say 3 times the absolute value of 2a plus 7 equals 3a plus 12. Now we need to get the absolute value isolated first. So we're going to divide both sides by 3. So then we have the absolute value of 2a plus 7 equals, when you divide the right-hand side by 3, make sure you divide the 3a and the 12. So that's equal to a plus 4. Now the absolute value is isolated, so you can write out your two equations. So 2a plus 7 equals a plus 4, or negative 2a plus 7 equals a plus 4. And now solve. So here we would subtract the a from both sides and subtract the 7, so we get a equals negative 3. You have to distribute the negative, so negative 2a minus 7 equals a plus 4. So here we'd add 2a and subtract 4. So we have negative 11 is equal to 3a. Divide by 3, so a is equal to negative 11 thirds. Now we have to check them. So, checking negative 3. So we have 3 times the absolute value of 2 times negative 3 plus 7. Does that equal 3 times negative 3 plus 12? Well, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, plus 7 would be 1. So the 3 times the absolute value of 1, which would be 3. Over here, 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, plus 12. Negative 9 plus 12 is 3, so that does work. Okay, checking the other one. 3 times the absolute value of 2 times negative 11 thirds plus 7. Does that equal 3 times negative 11 thirds plus 12? All 2 times negative 11 thirds would be negative 22 thirds plus, we're going to write 7 in terms of thirds, so that would be 21 thirds. Does that equal? All right, let's see here. So now we got negative 22 thirds plus 21 thirds would be negative 1 third. absolute value of negative 1/3 is positive 1/3. 3 times 1/3 is 1. Okay, 3 times negative 11/3, the 3's cancel, so you get negative 11 plus 12 is 1. 1 equals 1, so it does work. So here we have two solutions, negative 11/3 and negative 3. Whenever you have two solutions, you always want to list them from least to greatest. You could certainly write negative 11/3 as negative 3 and 2/3. That's fine as well.